Bombastic. Tyreek Hill linked to Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks news today. Hold up, Seahawks Nation. Whispers are spreading like wildfire that the Hawks could be in the mix for a legendary playmaker like Tyreek Hill. Fans are absolutely losing it as this blockbuster-style connection lights up social feeds. Imagine the matchup nightmares, the deep threats, and the instant offense boost if Seattle somehow brought in a weapon of that caliber. 12s everywhere are reacting. Some are hyped at the thought of a game-changing duo, others are saying this would be an all-time franchise shakeup. Whether it's real or just rumor dust right now, the buzz is massive. Stay locked for the next chapter in Seattle's off-season frenzy. What is going on, 12s? Because today we have a story that could completely shake up the NFC and possibly the entire NFL landscape. Reports and rumors are starting to swirl, insiders are whispering, and fans are losing their minds because Tyreek Hill has been linked to the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, that Tyreek Hill. One of the most explosive wide receivers of this generation. One of the fastest players the league has ever seen. And now, somehow, his name is being connected to Seattle. Before we dive deep, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because if this turns into something real, you are going to want every single update. Let's set the stage. Right now, Tyreek Hill is still a star with the Miami Dolphins. He has been the centerpiece of their offense, putting up insane numbers, stretching the field, and forcing defenses to completely rethink their game plan every single week. But as we all know, in the NFL, situations can change quickly. Contracts, cap space, team direction, locker room chemistry, and long-term strategy all play a role. So why would the Seahawks even be connected to a player like Hill? First, let's talk about Seattle's current offensive identity. Under head coach Mike Macdonald, the team has been building a new culture. Aggressive defense, balanced offense, and a vision focused on explosive playmaking. Adding a player like Tyreek Hill instantly changes the ceiling of any offense. He is not just fast. He is game-breaking. Defensive coordinators lose sleep because of him. Imagine lining him up alongside DK Metcalf. Think about that for a second. You have Metcalf, a physical freak who can overpower corners and dominate in contested catch situations. Then on the other side, you have Hill, a blur who can outrun angles and turn a 5-yard slant into an 80-yard touchdown. How does a defense choose who to double? Who do you shade coverage toward? You can't double both consistently. And if you try, you're leaving someone in single coverage who can beat you deep. And let's not forget about Jackson Smith-Njigba developing into a reliable target in the slot. That would give Seattle one of the most dangerous receiving trios in football. Potentially the most dynamic in the entire NFC. Now the next big question is quarterback play. Hill has thrived with strong-armed quarterbacks who can push the ball downfield. He won a championship with the Kansas City Chiefs, catching passes from Patrick Mahomes and winning Super Bowl 54. In Miami, he continued to dominate in a system designed around speed and timing. So how would he fit in Seattle's offense with Geno Smith? Geno has shown he can be efficient, accurate, and willing to take shots downfield. Adding Hill would give him a weapon who creates separation instantly. That means easier reads, more explosive plays, and potentially fewer tight window throws. Hill doesn't need much space. Give him a step and it's over. But let's be real. Trades like this don't just happen because fans dream about them. There are massive financial implications. Tyreek Hill carries a significant contract. Seattle would have to make room under the salary cap. That likely means restructuring deals, potentially moving other players, or giving up serious draft capital. And that's where things get interesting. Would the Seahawks be willing to sacrifice future picks for a proven superstar? This is a team that has historically valued building through the draft. But they have also shown they are not afraid to make bold moves when the opportunity feels right. We've seen franchise-altering trades before. We've seen blockbuster deals that change the direction of an organization overnight. If Seattle believes they are one elite weapon away from contending for the conference, this is the type of swing you take. Now let's talk about the NFC West. The division is always competitive. You have the San Francisco 49ers who consistently field one of the most complete rosters in football. You have the Los Angeles Rams who have proven they can reload quickly and remain dangerous. And the Arizona Cardinals are always looking to rebuild and surprise people. Adding Tyreek Hill would send a clear message to the division: Seattle is not rebuilding. Seattle is not waiting. Seattle is going for it. Think about a prime-time game at Lumen Field. The crowd is already one of the loudest in the league. Now imagine Hill taking a jet sweep 60 yards to the house. Imagine the defensive panic when he motions across the formation. The energy would be insane. The national media would be talking about Seattle every single week. But let's also consider the other side. Why would Miami even entertain moving him? Sometimes it comes down to long-term planning. Sometimes teams look at age curves, cap flexibility, and future roster construction. Hill is still elite, but NFL windows can close fast. If a team believes it can get a haul of picks and young players, it might at least listen. That does not mean a trade is imminent. It does not mean negotiations are happening behind closed doors. But in the NFL, where there is smoke, there is often at least a phone call. Another angle to consider is locker room culture. Hill brings swagger, confidence, and a big personality. Seattle has traditionally embraced strong personalities as long as they buy into the team-first mentality. The key would be alignment. Does Hill want to be part of a system that might not revolve around him as heavily as Miami's does? Does Seattle want to reshape its offensive identity to maximize his unique skill set? Because let's be clear. If you trade for Tyreek Hill, you don't use him halfway. You design plays specifically for him. You move him around the formation. You create mismatches. You feed him touches. He becomes a focal point. From a pure football perspective, the upside is enormous. Hill stretches the field vertically and horizontally. Safeties have to play deeper. Linebackers hesitate. Corners give extra cushion. That opens up the run game. That opens up intermediate routes. Everything becomes easier when defenses are terrified of speed. And that fear is real. We have seen it for years. Remember when he would torch defenses in Kansas City, turning broken plays into touchdowns? Remember the deep shots that flipped playoff games? That kind of threat changes momentum instantly. It changes how teams prepare all week. If the Seahawks were to pull this off, it would not just be about highlights. It would be about shifting their offensive ceiling from good to potentially unstoppable on any given Sunday. However, there are risks. Draft capital matters. Young, cheap talent matters. Tying up major money in one position can create holes elsewhere. Football is the ultimate team sport. One star does not guarantee a championship. But it can raise the odds. So here is the big question for you. If you are the general manager, do you make the call? Do you offer premium picks and restructure contracts to bring Tyreek Hill to Seattle? Or do you trust the current core, continue developing young talent, and preserve flexibility for the future? This is what makes the NFL so fascinating. One rumor can ignite an entire fan base. One potential move can shift power dynamics across a conference. As of right now, nothing is official. There is no confirmed trade. There is no finalized deal. But the fact that Tyreek Hill's name is even being connected to the Seahawks tells us something. It tells us that Seattle is being viewed as a team on the rise. A team that could be one aggressive move away from making serious noise. And if you are a 12, you have to admit, the idea is exciting. Speed kills in today's NFL. Explosive plays win games. And Tyreek Hill represents the ultimate explosive weapon. So stay locked in. Stay ready. Because if this rumor gains traction, things could move fast. And if something breaks, we will cover every detail right here. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would Tyreek Hill in a Seahawks uniform make this team an instant contender? What would you be willing to give up? And how do you think the NFC West would respond? This could be nothing. Or it could be the beginning of one of the most shocking moves of the season. Either way, Seattle just got a whole lot more interesting.